Hey guys, I have been needing to make this video for such a long time and I'm so glad that I finally get to make it for you. I can't believe that it was like end of November last time I sat down here to tell you about my voice and all my vocal issues and my surgery. And I haven't done a proper update and just sort of vlog, retelling of my journey up until now. Thank you so much to those of you that follow me on Instagram and on here and have been sending me messages and comments and asking me how I'm doing, sending support and encouragement over all of these months. Like, you guys, I don't know how to properly express my gratitude and my thanks for just all of your kind words, and it really, really did encourage me. And just knowing that you guys care about this weird girl that you watch on the internet or look at her pictures on Instagram, you guys are amazing, and I want you to know that you are a part of this journey too. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. To all of you guys who've been in touch with me about this specifically, it means a lot. So here we are. In a weird way, I feel like I just blinked. Like I've been through so much and it's been such a journey and I've learned so much and I feel like I've made so much progress and it's been hard work, but I just feel like I blinked. And that's how I feel about life in general lately. I just feel like I don't even know how time passes so quickly these days, at least for me, but it really, really does. I don't want to sleep in anymore. I just want to get up and jump out of bed, get stuff done, and work on projects because I feel like there's so much time to make up for. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of surgery. Basically, I made that video. I think it's like I had surgery or something like that. You can see there's like a picture of me on the gurney after surgery in the thumbnail. I made that vlog all about why I was having surgery. It was pre-surgery. It was literally the night before. I even got a call from my anesthesiologist while I was making the vlog and I had to pause and get my surgery prep from her and then go back to filming. So I made that vlog. I recorded myself singing before surgery that night. When morning light awakens and black velvet turns to blue, we'll catch our breath in rapture that the stories are all true. For there, so near below us, stretched out for only eyes to see, is the hidden land of never, just the way it should be. But yeah, so that was on the cusp of the big change. So I go into surgery on December 1st. You'd think that I would have been super scared and super nervous, and of course I had pre-surgery jitters because it's scary, but, and I think I said this in that announcement video as well, I just had this, I feel like it was like a supernatural peace, I knew without a doubt that this was the right decision, that my surgeon was amazing and I was in the best hands possible for me, and I just knew that this was what God had for me. I felt like I was in line with His will, that I was doing the best thing that I could for my health and my voice and my mental health, just everything had sort of led up to that point. And in a weird way, for those of you guys that are just jumping in here and are maybe new to my channel, I had vocal cord surgery, and prior to that I had had a lot of vocal trouble my entire life. You can go watch the video. I will put a card. I had pretty much lost my voice. I could still talk and I could still sing, as in make sound, but it wasn't my voice. I couldn't hit notes anymore. I'd lost my range. I was in pain every single day, and I was just beside myself. I was, as a singer, from the time I was 5 years old, that was my identity, and it's what I love. It's my biggest passion, and getting that taken away from you, it just wrecks you, and so I was just at the point where I didn't feel like I even had another option, and I was so excited and glad for the opportunity to have this, for me, life-changing surgery. So I go in, and funny enough, they actually recorded me singing before surgery. They took me in a room and they had me sing a few bars, just like showing the damage, you know, like trying to sing things that I couldn't sing. And so that was that was difficult. So, you know, they have a record of how I sounded before and how I sound now. So then I get in my gown and everything, and my family actually couldn't come. They were there, but they couldn't come back in the room with me. From the time I went on to it, back, you know, into the surgical area, I was on my own, and the staff was amazing. They were all like super kind and really reassuring. My anesthesiologist was like awesome. And yeah, I just sat back there. They got me all hooked up and ready to go, and then they wheeled me in. And the last thing I remember is I'm just laying there and I'm waiting to fall asleep, and I'm not falling asleep. And, you know, but I think this is like every surgery ever. Anyone who's like put under general anesthesia probably feels like this, but like I'm sitting there and I'm just like, don't start till I'm asleep. I'm like terrified that I'm gonna like not be all the way asleep before they start. It's just like, as you know, it's like one of those like weird fears that like irrational fears, you know, but I guess it, you know, it's probably just took a few seconds, but for me it felt like minutes or passing, because, you know, when you're like anxious about something. But they were like, you're fine, you'll go to sleep as soon as we need you to, we're just getting everything in place. And, you know, and it was probably, yeah, just like a minute, but I don't even remember falling asleep. And I'd never had general anesthesia before, by the way. That's why I was kind of like anxious about it, and they're going right here. All of my other surgeries, well, I had my wisdom teeth taken out, but that was a long time ago, and I don't really remember anything about that, except that it was like a twilight sleep, I think. But my other surgeries were on my back, on my low back, and they were twilight sleep. And I was, you know, you just like lay down and go to sleep, and even if you wake up, they're on your back, they're not in your throat, you know. So this was like scarier for me, but they were so great. I don't even remember falling asleep. I was out that quick and that fast, and I don't, obviously, I woke up. And I didn't even know they'd started yet, and I woke up and it was over. And it's so funny because after surgery, you are not allowed to talk for 3 weeks. No sound whatsoever. So no coughing, no clearing your throat, nothing. And of course I had a sore throat because I had surgery right there. Immediately when I woke up, I felt a sore throat, but it wasn't bad. It was just like a really bad case of bronchitis or something. And my left side was super swollen. I felt it, but I didn't feel pain on my right side. And I actually had 2 polyps, for those of you guys that didn't watch the other video or don't remember. It's one on each vocal cord, but the big monster was on the left side that I've probably had my entire life. The new little guy was on the right. And I was immediately like, oh no, they didn't take both of them out. They only got rid of one. And I was nervous about it. But my doctor reassured me. I was like writing with them on the pad and trying to communicate with sign language and stuff, because I wasn't allowed to talk. Basically, it was so tiny, and I guess I'd done such a good job of taking care of myself from the time of my diagnosis to the time of the surgery that she didn't need to, and it was just going to heal on its own, and it didn't need to be cut into or anything like that. So that was cool. I was concerned that it wouldn't go away, but she assured me that it would. And it's funny too, because when I first woke up, your initial reaction, just especially if you're not surrounded by people you know, because my family still wasn't in there. It was just the surgical staff. And I wake up and I was trying to communicate, and I start to talk, and the nurse sees me kind of open my eyes and go, you know, and she's like, no, 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 no. Because you don't remember, because you're like out of it, you know. And so they immediately get me like a pad and paper. I think I brought one. I'm a really fast texter and typer on my phone, so I just had planned to communicate that way, so I asked for my phone. But you know, you're super groggy and stuff, so it's like, so I got taken home, starting the recovery process. I had a bit of a sore throat for a few days, but it wasn't bad. The worst part of it was not coughing and not clearing my throat. I was fine not talking. I knew that that would be the case. I've lived my life on vocal rest. I've been putting myself on vocal rest since I was in grade school. All of my friends were like, oh my gosh, you're such a talker. You're gonna go crazy. You're not gonna be able to handle it. And I was like, yeah, but you guys only see me in the times when I let myself talk and let myself be super communicative and all of that. But they're not around when I'm on vocal rest because I like isolate myself. So the not talking part, not only was it easy, it was so nice. It was like a vacation. I had been in so much pain from talking. Anytime I would hang out with friends, anytime I would talk with my family, even just have a simple phone call, my throat would just be sore and it would ache afterwards, and I would not want to talk for a long time after that. And so it was like this crazy relief to feel this sort of sore, aching feeling in my throat, but know that I wasn't required to talk through it. And I didn't have to push myself, and I didn't have to feel that pain and, feel it worsen and aggravate it by talking. So it's weird. It was like this really nice, very zen kind of restful period most of the time. The really, really hard part, though, was not coughing and clearing my throat, because you just want to. And it's almost like just the fact that you're not allowed to makes you want to do it even more. The way that I got through was I just kept cough drops nearby all the time. And so anytime I got that tickle, I just put a cough drop in immediately. I probably consumed so much sugar during those 3 weeks because I just literally was always putting cough drops in my mouth. I just always had a cough drop in my mouth, or was just downing water, and or obviously the times when I was eating, that would kind of help a little bit because it would just help that tick that you want to do it. I did slip up, I think twice. I want to say it was early the second week, but it was the middle of the night and I was using the restroom, and Casper, my cat, followed me into the restroom, and then he started I think he swiped at me to be silly. He's super playful, but he can get a little too playful, if you know what I mean. And he was in play mode, and he was trying to swipe at me in the bathroom, and I went, no, Casper, don't. And then I was like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? But I did. I think I said 3 words. I think I was I think I might have said, stop it, Casper, or something. But of course, it was yelling at the cat. I wasn't yelling, but it was it was talking to the cat. That's how I screwed up. But it's fine. And my surgeon had told me ahead of time, because I asked her 1,000 questions before surgery of all the scenarios that could happen or go wrong or what have you. And she told me, it's gonna happen. She was like, just don't freak out when it happens, because it's gonna happen. She's like, don't do it, but inevitably you will probably slip up at some point. She said, it's okay, just stop. Just stop when you realize it, just stop. So obviously it was fine. And I think the other time I laughed. Someone made me laugh, and it was too hard to keep it in, and I didn't realize it, and it came out, and I just, I stopped. The other really hard thing, which is, it's really interesting when you think about it, but I was told, and I didn't know this till after the surgery because I was trying to communicate, so I was just, mouthing words like water or whatever, because not everyone knows sign language. And I know a little bit of ASL because I took it in high school for 2 years. So I was using basic signs to communicate, I gotta go to the restroom, or I don't know, thank you, just simple things. But not everyone knows it, and so I would start to mouth the words while I was signing, or just mouth the word. And my surgeon immediately was like, don't, mouth the words, because apparently you can accidentally kind of whisper or make sound when you're doing that on accident. And so I wasn't allowed to mouth words, which was really hard when trying to communicate with people, especially when they didn't know sign language. Luckily, BJ can understand it a little bit. He can't really speak it, and it's I don't need anyone to sign back to me because I can hear just fine. Well, I have a hearing loss too, but that's another story. But he can, get the gist of what I'm saying if I'm signing to him. So that was really helpful just around the house and just being home. And I was well enough after a couple days technically to go out and do stuff. My body was fine. I wasn't having to be like an invalid or anything, but I knew that it was going to be really, really difficult to try to do a lot of like friend stuff and be really social while on vocal rest, because I knew there was a way higher risk of me accidentally talking and not meaning to, or laughing. And I was still, I'm one of those people, if you tell me it's going to be 3 days of recovery, it's probably going to be like a week. I'm a little baby. I'm a little bit, weak around the edges. And so, like with my back surgeries, that was supposed to be like 3 days and you're up and about. And it took me 2 weeks each time. So I don't know, I just knew that I would want to take it easy and not like push myself and put a bunch of pressure on myself to have to do all this stuff. And what was nice was I actually had a lot of energy when I was home to sit and edit, and I was going through like BTS from the Peter Pan video, and we were working on finishing up the video when I was on vocal rest. It was in editing, and so I did have, I think it was twice, I think 2 times I saw friends and was, social, not talking, but around other people besides like BJ and my mom. My mom came over and would watch movies with me. It was so fun. And so my friends and director Brandon Toy and Amy Toy came over and they brought us dinner one night, and it was so fun. And we basically went through the Neverland video, and he showed me the video that was edited, and we kind of got to go and make little final changes and stuff, and like that was awesome. And then I went to see Star Wars. I went with my friend Amber Arden. You guys know Amber, and Eric and some of our friends. We went to go see Star Wars in the theater, which is great because like seeing a movie is safe, And then we went out to dinner after, and I tired out pretty quickly. I'm usually the friend that wants to stay all night long. If I'm out, like I want to, be at Denny's at 4 a.m. eating ice cream with my buddies. Like I just don't want the night to end. But I actually found myself getting really tired and needing to leave pretty early for me. So I was like, it must have been really, I think it's like extra tiring when you have to, be creative in how you communicate. But the typing thing worked out really well. I could text, and I had a really funny like text-to-speech app. Hang on, I'll show you. Okay, so I had way too much fun with this app. There's like somewhat, you can kind of try to find like, oh, it's a female voice and it's higher pitched. Like you can kind of try to match, it's not gonna sound anything like you, probably. Hopefully not. But you can like change the pitch and the rate, like how fast it talks, and you can type in your whatever phrases, and then it'll save them too, which is nice. If you like say the same things a lot, you can just kind of re-hit it. And so I've actually got some on here when I was joking around, but I found this voice that's hilarious, and I started using it, and people were just like, my family was like cry laughing every time. So this is I Need an Adult.
I need an adult.
And then, I don't know, here, this one says, I have many voices.
I have many voices.
But anyways, we had way too much fun with that, and a lot of times though I found myself just typing on a notepad and just showing my phone to the person, because then it eliminated that whole, the laughing fit every time I would, and I'd change the voice around, and some are like less funny, but they're all pretty funny. So yeah. So when it came time for me to speak again, I was so nervous. I was so scared to start talking. I was just scared, and I went into my appointment. I told her I was scared on my phone. So my surgeon does the scope and shows me the image, and she said my cords are perfect. She said that they healed perfectly, that it couldn't have been any better, that we had the best result that we could have hoped for, and that I can sing again and talk, and I can do anything. Well, I had to do vocal therapy first, but essentially the healthy cords were in place, and the damage was gone, and my polyps are gone. The other little guy healed, he went away, and the monster obviously was removed, and yeah, she said they were perfect, not even like inflamed or anything. So she took the scope out, and she was like, you can talk now, and I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, and I was so scared, and I don't even remember what I said first. I probably just said, are you sure? or something. And when my voice came out, it was so soft and weak because the muscles hadn't developed, it had been in a weakened state, and healing, and I hadn't been using it. And so my voice was so weak that it was like quiet, it was funny. And she assured me that I just, it's gonna be fine. It just has to like build back up. And she even asked me to sing that day, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was really difficult because I didn't even know how to sing yet with my new chords. Like it still felt like, it's hard to describe. Like it felt different, but at the same time, I didn't really feel like, oh, singing is super easy now. Like I had a long way to go, but we did. I was able to sing. And she said that my full range should be back. So I've got high notes again, and I don't have the limitations that I had before. So from there, that same day, I had to start vocal therapy, which I'd actually started prior to surgery as sort of a last-ditch effort. We kind of got me in with a therapist that I really love, and it did some initial stuff, but basically, I needed surgery. The real work started with my therapist that day. So I went, and you're only supposed to go off vocal rest on the same day that you can see your therapist, so that they can like guide you through how to build back up. And so then the real work began. So ever since then, I've been seeing my therapist usually once a week. Sometimes we'll go once every 2 weeks, but I've been seeing her pretty regularly, and we have been working my speaking voice back up, building it up, getting it strong, and I have had to relearn not only how to sing again, but I've had to relearn completely how to speak, and I'm still doing it. So I'm probably not even speaking like completely correctly right now. I'm trying really hard to, but I used to speak in a way that I was speaking the way I was, probably because and singing too, because I was, trying to work around this injury that I had, and I was probably trying to lessen the pain that I felt when I spoke. I was just sort of like coping with it, just whatever way felt comfortable or whatever way that I could. But now I have these beautiful, healthy vocal cords, and I need to treat them right. And so I'm having to learn how to speak. Hopefully you guys can tell I don't have my good microphone attached to the camera right now. I meant to set it up and I totally spaced. So the audio quality on this probably isn't super great. So I don't know if you can tell. You'll be able to tell hopefully with the music that I'm posting soon. But my voice, a lot of the crackle and the air is gone. It's still my voice. I'm always going to sound like me, but it's healthier sounding, it's stronger now, and I'm really trying to focus on speaking from my diaphragm and supporting. See how I just sat up straight when I said that. And speaking at a healthy pitch, we had to sort of figure it out. So initially she had me speaking, like you guys probably saw in my last mermail videos, I was speaking at a pretty high pitch, and that was because that was where she thought at the time it was healthiest for me. And then we modulated down as we realized sort of where the most comfortable place is and the healthiest place for me. And now I feel like we've calibrated pretty much just right where I'm supposed to be, and I have all of these funny vocal exercises that I have to do. They're normal words, but there's the way in which I have to sort of feel the sound and create the sound to help me, speak correctly moving forward. Things like, hello, how are you? It's all these weird things I'm visualizing as I'm doing it. It's almost like a Siri sound at first, and I initially was like, how do I sound like me? How do I still put my personality in there if I have to stay on the same tone, speaking right here in the same tone? Very healthy. It turns into like a voiceover kind of voice, like a funny, infomercial kind of voice or Siri voice or something. But it's like sort of like you overcorrect to get there. There's no way for me to sit here and explain all of it in a vlog. You guys would probably have to go through vocal therapy, I'm sure, to like fully, you probably just think I'm a crazy person right now. But suffice it to say, vocal therapy has been amazing. It's been a huge, huge help. I'm still doing it. I'm still, I'm recovered in that I can speak, I can sing. There's no limitations now. Finally, I'm not limited. I'm not gonna like yell and scream, but normal vocalization wherever I need to do it is fine, but I'm still in recovery as far as I'm still learning. I'm still, dealing with, there's a lot of residual soreness and tension and pressure. And basically, what's happening is my larynx wants to go up. So, a lot of you singers, you might be familiar with the terminology of, larynx down while you're singing and all that stuff. So, she does like a manual therapy as well. Manual, like, it's kind of like a neck massage. It's kind of weird, but it helps push your larynx down. And I can do one right here so you guys can see me. Don't try this at home though. Do it like with a therapist because they have to teach you how to do it. But I don't know if you can hear it. It's so weird. So there's a space in there, and every day I'm supposed to also manually kind of, work those parts to sort of loosen it up, give myself space so that the sound can come out. And long story, I'm still in therapy, we're working it out, but things are going really well. Simultaneously, I've also started working with a rehabilitative vocal coach on the singing side. She's working with me on ways to sing in a healthy way, and the combined sort of team in these two people that I'm working with has given me a voice that I've never had before. I'm singing notes that I've never been able to hit before, and I just couldn't be more excited. One scary thing that happened was, I think it was just a couple weeks after I came off vocal rest, I got sick. And that is sort of the worst thing that can happen after surgery right here is getting sick and feeling like you have to cough and stuff. So I was terrified that something was going to happen and go wrong. After I found out that my cords are beautiful and perfectly healthy and working. But praise the Lord, I went in and she took a look, and I was a little bit swollen still from like the leftover sickness, but I was fine and everything's fine. And I was so scared. So like, praise the Lord. It was just that sort of cough, stuffy nose, cold thing that was going around for a while. So that was a little bump in the road, but thank goodness the worst thing, happened and I was still okay. So the first week that I was told I could sing, because even after I came off vocal rest, I had to wait a little bit before I could actually really start like singing full out. I could sing soft, I think. But yeah, the first week that I was told, okay, you can sing, it's safe, I got booked for a gig, and my producer called me and he was like, can you come record? Like, are you able? And I was like, yeah, like I've got the okay. I didn't feel ready, and it was tough, but I was just so happy and shocked that I was able to go into the studio and do a gig that quickly. So that felt like an accomplishment right there. I think it was for an app or something. There's a lot of stuff that I do that like I never find out like where it is or how to find it, and like, it's off in the world somewhere. I've done a few gigs since then, some demos even for Disney, which was so fun. And I've been singing, you guys. I've been in the studio like twice a week since I felt, I think it was like maybe a week or two after that gig, that first gig, that I really felt ready. It took me, a little longer to really feel like, okay, I can sing and feel confident in what I'm doing on some level, There's a long way to go, always. But yeah, so I've been in the studio like twice a week working on some projects for you guys, and I'm crazy excited. Of course, I spent a lot of time writing and just in my sort of creative headspace while I was on vocal rest, and I've got some new original music that I am just so over the moon to share with you guys. Like, this is always how it is, I'm like going crazy that it's not done yet, but we're working, going in tomorrow actually to finish up that that song that I'm talking about right now. And I've just got so much, you guys. There's so much that's like in the workshop, cooking mode, but like I think it's all probably going to come out around the same time too. I'm guessing. That's always how things happen, you know? It's like, wait, everything's ready. So hopefully end of this year we'll have some really fun projects and even some small things in between to share with you guys. I'm super excited to be just singing and just like covering songs and sharing my original stuff with you guys. And so do me a favor. I want to be singing more, and I can't make everything a huge epic music video project because it's costly to do those kind of things. I've got some coming that I've been really working towards, but I want to start doing just some simple covers as well in between if you guys will watch them. And so let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you want me to be covering. There's a few standouts that people have been asking for a while that I'm definitely planning on doing this year. But I'd also love to be doing some stuff that's not Disney. I'm a pop singer, guys. That's you know, also equally a part of me as like Disney music is, you know. So if there's anything, you know, just any artist that you want me to cover, any song, like let me know. I want to hear what you guys want to hear from me, and I just want to be singing so much more now that I can. So let me know in the comments what you guys want to hear. You guys, my voice is healthy for the first time in my entire life. I've never had a healthy voice until now. And I'm so grateful. It's like a dream come true. Before the surgery, I had talked to my family and I told them, you know, I was crying and I was just like, you know what? Like, if a genie came to me and said, you have one wish, you know, you could have anything you want, only one wish out of everything in the whole world, you know, what would you want? Like, for me, you know, not like world peace. I would want my voice, you know? I would want my voice back. And God opened that door and he gave it to me. So I am focusing and working super hard right now. My goals right now are just to continue to improve, to get strong, to find the limits of my voice, because I don't know. I don't know what my natural range really is. I don't know how high I should be singing. You know, I used to sing alto, and I've always been told I was a soprano when I was a kid. And yeah, I'm just really, really curious to see what I have in here, because I feel like before this, and not to like build it up, because it's still just me. It's still just my voice. It's not someone else's voice. And, you know, but before this, I feel like it was just like a piece of what my potential was as a singer. One of the other sort of hard parts in all the work phase, you know, because that's what I always said. I was like, the vocal rest and stuff, that was easy. Now I'm doing the work, you know, this is the hard part. The surgery itself, like, I was asleep. I didn't experience anything. It was easy. You know, the recovery was just a sore throat and not talking. It was easy. It was passive. Now I'm working. Now it's tough, but it's so rewarding at the same time. But one of the more difficult things coming right off, like right when I started singing, was my control wasn't there. And I felt, you know, I knew why, you know. I didn't freak out, but it was like really frustrating when normal things that I was always able to do before, even with a broken voice, I couldn't do them initially. And it's taken me some time, and I finally now feel like my voice is sort of obeying me again. You know, if I tell it to do a certain run or something, like it'll do it, you know, for the most part. It's not perfect by any means, you guys. Like, I didn't suddenly gain like more talent or anything, but I have a beautiful instrument that God gave me that I have the blessing and ability to learn and work and strengthen and figure out and find the limitations of, and use it. Without a doubt, this was the right choice for me. This was one of the best things that's ever happened to me. This is one of the biggest blessings in my life that I could ever, you know, that I couldn't even dream was possible. I hope by sharing my story that anyone out there who might be facing this too, or just who's going through anything, and you know, see potential solutions for whatever you're going through, I hope it encourages you that even though something's scary and even though something might seem like a really big leap, it might be worth it. And I'm not saying that everyone who has a vocal polyp should go in for surgery. Obviously, you and your doctor are the only people who can really decide what's right for you. So, I'm only just saying that this was for me the right decision. I'm gonna leave my surgeon's information in the description box below. So for anybody who is in the LA area or could travel to the LA area, if you're dealing with any vocal stuff like I was, she's amazing. I can't sing her praises enough. Literally, right? So feel free to check her out or anyone on their team. They are incredible doctors. I'm so grateful that God led me to them. So the work isn't over. I'm still going to be working all year long and for the rest of my life, right? Because that's what this is. This is a commitment for the rest of my life. But I am back. I am crazy excited. It doesn't mean there aren't still hurdles ahead. I will try to keep you guys posted as far as everything goes. I share a lot on Instagram, so if you guys want to keep in touch with me and, kind of see what I'm up to, I post in my Instagram story, but then a lot of times, I'll post photos on Instagram, but then in the description, I will chat with you guys and have a nice little talk and just share, I don't know, whatever's on my heart, or even just, talking about fun photo shoots or video shoots or music, of course. But like whatever's going on, I overshare on Instagram. And I try to be really good about here as well as over there in the comments, try to respond as much as I possibly can. So comment if you would like to chat with me. So we've reached the end. Well, it's not the end. It's really just the beginning of my Little Mermaid, real life Little Mermaid story. The sea witch, the polyp, stole my voice, and I went through a journey, an ordeal to get it back. And then my father, God, gave me my voice back by using my surgeon and her team. But, it's just weird. It's weird how life imitates art. But that's probably why I've related to Ariel in a lot of ways for so long also, is probably a lot of this stuff. Speaking of Ariel and mermaids, so much more mermaid coming at you this year, you guys. I'm so excited. I've got quite a few mermaid photo shoots set up right now. I'm going to take you with me underwater, behind the scenes, on all different shoots, and the music's definitely coming too. I have some really, 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 really exciting mermaid music projects and just lots of stuff. So stay tuned. I hear Casper yelling for me right now. Ugh. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot. Yes. But this video's long enough, so I'll keep you guys posted. I love you guys. Let me know your comments down below. And you know what? Wow. I talked for so long, I didn't even get to questions. I'm sorry. Leave your questions down below. I'll try to answer anything else in the comments that you might have or in my next vlog. And I'm sorry, you guys. I talk too much. I just wanted to share it all with you. But, I probably answered a lot of the questions that you guys had within the story. I'm guessing. I'm hoping. Anyways, let me know. I love you guys so much. And we will see you on the next one. Say bye. And I'll consider growing up if first you let me fly. We'll depart at first sight of the starlight and fly all throughout the night. Biting wind and chill, we won't feel near that second star that burns.